Hey everybody, what's cooking? Well, the world is still on fire, metaphorically speaking. Unless, of course, you're in downtown LA and saw that huge explosion last week, but at least we still have our video games and they will get us through this all. I'm Riley Rose and you're watching another weekly episode of Gaymer Girl News. And as always, there's lots to talk about when it comes to video games, so let's just jump on in, shall we? The video game industry is booming during this quarantine as people are looking for ways to stay entertained while stuck at home. Microsoft disclosed that its Game Pass service hit over 10 million subscribers in April, and Nintendo has seen a 24% increase in Nintendo Switch sales. Animal Crossing has become one of the top-selling games of the decade, reaching now over 13.5 million copies sold. So overall, video games are doing well. Video game sales in March approached nearly 1.6 billion units sold, according to the NPD. While games are flying off digital shelves, what's going on behind the scenes? Are we gonna see any new games? Will we run out of games to play during this? Probably not. But Xbox lead Phil Spencer says that the industry may start to see the impacts of coronavirus in early 2021. While games that are in late development or are already complete see little to no changes, it's going to be those big blockbuster games that we don't even know about yet that take the biggest hit. Phil Spencer continued to tell Business Insider that motion captioning and audio work have completely stopped. That's kind of a problem. Any games who still need to capture some animation in a mocap studio or soundtracks that are in need of big-time audio work are just on hold, and who knows for how long. One thing that appears to still be on track is the launch of the Xbox Series X that's scheduled to arrive this holiday season. While everything seems to be okay on the surface, Spencer did hint that the launch will not be completely unaffected, but it's only minor things that are going to have to be moved. Nintendo has already seen a supply issue with their Nintendo Switch systems at the beginning of this lockdown, and while the impact on actual Switch production is subsiding, Nintendo is now warning about disruptions to their first-party softwares coming later this year, which that's what we're all excited for. Nintendo President Suntaro Furukawa spoke on the issue, saying while the company has many releases planned for the current year, the need to work from home may make it difficult to release these titles as planned. What titles, Nintendo? God, at least there's one game that we know will go forward for sure, and now we know the title and location as well. Infamous Call of Duty leaker Okami posted a mocked-up box cover with the title Call of Duty Cold War on Twitter. While it's fair to say that this isn't the official box art, the title is absolutely on the money, baby. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War will return to Call of Duty roots with a blast to the past and a really long name. While Activision has not confirmed or denied this claim, Warzone has become a set of teases that have to do with locked bunkers. There are many gaming companies who are very optimistic with where the world of video games are heading, and that's definitely the case for Take-Two Interactive. The parent company for developers like Rockstar and 2K Games announced that regardless of a potentially light financial year for this year, they are planning to release over 90 game titles over the next 5 years. Many gamers were excited to hear that GTA 6 is currently in early development, so we can only wonder what exactly will come next. GTA 5 is one of the best-selling games ever created, so if somehow you still haven't had the chance to play, it may still be on the Epic Games Store for free. Some games are moving forward as planned, and other releases will have to adjust a little bit, but there is one thing that remained unaffected in this pandemic, but it's the failure of Microsoft's streaming platform Mixer. While some streaming platforms like Twitch, YouTube, and even Facebook gaming have seen a large surge in users over the past few months, Mixer has not exactly capitalized on it and remains tragically flat. Twitch takes the lead when it comes to viewership and has the most gaming celebrities, but that's not the only thing that makes Mixer struggle. Mixer has had a fair amount of problems with the platform itself. It's not user-friendly and it's hard for both streamers and viewers and fans to use. Even pulling in big gaming names like Ninja didn't help the platform at all, but maybe they should have pulled me in instead, so it's time for a shameless Twitch channel plug. Check it out. Okay, back to news. Looking at Microsoft's history, they usually don't let failing products stick around for long, so we'll see how long Mixer can hold on for. And guys, I am so sick of talking about Sony versus Xbox, so instead, let's talk about Ubisoft versus Google and Apple.
In a steel cage deathmatch for glory.
Okay, it's not really like a steel cage, and it's more like a Zoom meeting in a judge's office. Google Play and the Apple Play Store have both started carrying a mobile free-to-play shooter called Area F2, otherwise AF2. Ubisoft filed a complaint in a Los Angeles federal court that claimed the game is a near carbon copy of Rainbow Six Siege. They claim that virtually and literally every single aspect of AF2 is copied from Rainbow Six. They also claim that Ubisoft had directly contacted both Apple and Google with these concerns, but neither company would take down the game. Area F2 was created by eJoy.com, which is a company owned by Chinese multinational tech company Alibaba. So why would Ubisoft sue Google and Apple and not eJoy themselves? Well, it may just come down to location, location, location. Suing for copyright infringement in China is a lot more challenging than the US, and it may be the fastest way to get the game off of mobile devices. So then maybe Ubisoft will finally eJoy themselves. Get it? Fine, whatever, you guys can decide for yourself, but let's look at these two games back to back. I can see where they get some inspiration. In light video game news, many of us have listened to the Animal Crossing New Horizons main theme every morning since March 20th, and we're never gonna get sick of it. To lighten everybody's spirits, Nintendo released a video showing the musicians behind the iconic theme recreating it from their homes. Take a look. While these amazing musicians play, we're going to talk about another piece of lighthearted Animal Crossing news. Some people are choosing to make breathtaking villages and terraforming in ways that only gods could dream of. But others are choosing to play this game a little differently. Reddit user Bassoon decided to do this with their island instead. Wow, and all I can really say is,
I offer you a nice egg in this trying time.
Yeah, he's got an egg!
Alright, it's now time for another Riley Rose review. This week we're talking about the game that I played last Scary Sunday, Until Dawn, and there's gonna be some spoilers, so this is a warning for all of you with weak hearts. First of all, I loved how scary this game was and how it basically was just a teen slasher thriller. But honestly, it's a much better game than I was expecting. The setup is pretty horror-esque. A bunch of friends, get together for the anniversary of their two friends who went missing on the very same mountaintop they all choose to go running back to. Real smart guys. The story was written by two big Hollywood writers, Larry Fessenden and Graham Resnick, and the writing shows. The plot's a little tongue-in-cheek at times and draws from horror movie tropes quite a bit. However, there are ways the plot changes and moves that's just enough to subvert your expectations. Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek are amongst the voice actors and faces that play the obnoxious high school brats. I wouldn't go as far as saying that these characters, become likable, but there's a fair amount of character development as the plot moves forward. The blueprint of the gameplay is definitely akin to Telltale games. Even the smallest of choices in the game can affect players in a major way. The developers' Supermassive Games did a great job at making sure players feel the impact from their choices, and the decisions are difficult to choose between, especially in the allotted time, because most of them prove fatal. While many parts of the game are great, there were a few drawbacks. The game definitely relies more on jump scares than like a Silent Hill-esque psychological experience, but it does do an okay job at creating an unsettling atmosphere that has players jumping at even the slightest of sounds. Luckily for this game, I'm a prime suspect for jump scares, but without them, the game just wouldn't even be close to as scary. The acting itself is also fine. It's just the way that the performances were shot that make the experience feel robotic. the developers opted to shoot the performances individually, implementing body capturing after the fact, and it makes the characters feel less connected, and sometimes the animations on the face don't pair well with their bodies. But all in all, if you love interactive stories and schlocky horror, the game is a success. There's no major issues that keep players frustrated, and the story is well done and engaging enough that it makes you want to get through it as soon as possible. And being so scary doesn't help. I love this game and it scared the shit out of me, but I have some higher expectations these days, so I give this game a 4 out of 5 rose petals. If you want to see more Scary Sunday content, don't miss out on Scary Sundays every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch TV/RileyRoseZ. And before we go, let's talk a little bit about some video game trivia. Thank God these days we have really high-end gaming technology, but us OG gamers remember the days of systems freezing, games that wouldn't load, and the amount of spit that we launched into cartridges as we blew into them desperately hoping they'll work. Well, none of us remember this quite as well as Kamal Gray, the keyboard player from The Roots, who actually has the world record for blowing into game cartridges, because that's a thing. Appearing on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, Kamal Gray blew into 43 game cartridges within 20 seconds. Like, hey, maybe if you're bored in quarantine and have some older games, you can try to beat it too. I know I don't have the lung capacity, so wow. All right, that's all we have for today. So what games are you guys worried about potential delays on? Have you been scared by any games lately? And are you gonna try for a gaming world record? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell. I'm Riley Rose and I am signing out.